Hello, everybody. Happy April 6th. How's everyone doing today? It is hey, remember the old Carpenter song? Rainy days and Mondays always get me down. Well, quite honestly, I really, really like rainy days, and Mondays never gotten me down so much. Um, I've always kind of enjoyed Mondays. It's like the start of something new, getting into things. Yeah, I will admit that there were many a Sunday night that I would sit there and say, I gotta get up and go to work tomorrow. But I survived it. And normally when I got into work and got to see everybody, it was very nice. I miss that. I miss getting to see everybody at work. So hi, work friends. How are ya? Hi, Peg. How are ya? Hi, Toddy. Um, but all in all, rainy days and Mondays, not a bad thing. And it is very pretty. And boy, do we need the rain! And the plants are just sucking it up. I love it. All right, so since I began this, people started asking me about tips about auditioning, and I've been kind of pushing it off because these are really not supposed to be theater centric talks. I don't want to cut people out just because they're not theater people. Um, but I think this one kind of deals well with everything. Um, I was reminded by a friend of mine, Mike Piscatelli, uh, about an event that we had many, many years back. I met Mike when he auditioned. He was a 21-year-old kid, so it was a couple decades ago. Sorry, Mike, gave that away. Um, and he auditioned for my production of A Few Good Men, and I cast him in that, and we became really good friends. And several years later, he decided that he wanted to produce some plays in Hollywood. Um, this story is going somewhere, by the way. And the first play that we were doing was a show called Does a Tiger Wear a Necktie? Which, side note, was a kind of the launching pad for Al Pacino's career when he first started. It is a fairly large cast, and so we decided instead of having just open auditions, we were going to ask for submissions of photos and resumes. And we got a lot. We got a lot of submissions. You want to get a lot of pictures and resumes, you advertise a play in Los Angeles. Um, so we got a lot, and he and I sat down and started leafing through them. Um, one of them really stuck out because it was a young lady. Um, Neither of us recognized the picture, but on her resume, it had said that she played Joe in A Few Good Men at Huntington Beach Playhouse. Now, the only time that Huntington Beach Playhouse had produced A Few Good Men was when I directed it and when Mike was in it. And the single woman's role in the show was not played by this young lady. Um, so obviously, um, we didn't know her. And we were very, very tempted to call her in for the audition just to pin her in the lie. Um, we didn't because we had way too many people to see at the audition for that sort of pettiness. But we certainly kept her in mind in case she showed up at any future auditions. Um, it did not go over well. So the point is, and this is a really long winded way of getting around to this, the first impression that you're going to make at an audition and or an interview is submitting your resume. Now, many directors don't pay a lot of attention to a resume. I don't. When I see people coming to an audition, I kind of glance over the resume to see if there's anyone listed that I know, just as a point of conversation, but I don't pay a lot of attention to them. But many people do. And the one thing you do not want to get caught at is lying on your resume. Now, I am not going to pretend I am holier than thou. About 2 years after I came to the Southern California area, I had a big celebration because I finally was able to remove all of the lies that were on my acting resume. Um, People have to pad their resume sometimes, and they do it in many, many ways. Sometimes an outright lie. Sometimes I can't tell you how many times I've seen things listed that I looked at and said, okay, they played this part in a scene in a workshop, and they are listing this as a production. Um, it's really hard to sell a lie in a resume, and it's not worth it. I would much rather see an honest resume that has only one or two entries on it, because at least then I know what I'm getting. So it's really, really important. Be honest. Be honest on your resume. It's okay. We all start somewhere. And I'm sorry that I ever had lies on my resume. Uh, some of them were pretty blatant. And when you're moving from one area of the country to another, it's really, really easy to do that because who knows the names of other theaters or other productions? And but you would be surprised how small a community the theatrical community is, and not just the one in Southern California. Um, Pretty much everyone knows everyone. It's definitely kind of a Kevin Bacon game of people. We all know somebody who knows somebody who has done something with somebody, and word gets around. Um, so that brings up the concept of honesty. Yes, be totally honest on your resume. Um, do your best to be totally honest, period. Honesty is a really, really important value and one that I know most people cherish. You need to be able to trust someone's word. And I learned some very valuable lessons because I used to think that that was just a blanket statement. When I was younger, I prided myself in my honesty. Um, I would be honest no matter what. And I realized over the years that honesty has very, very little value if it doesn't take the feelings of other people into account. Um, there's a term about being brutally honest. Um, Brutality is not a good thing in any concept. Um, and if you're being brutally honest, that says a lot about your character. Uh, my character used to be sorely lacking because I thought brutal honesty was the end all and be all of any conversation. And honestly, I lost a lot of friends because of that. At least one or two valuable friends I lost because of my honesty. Um, you start to know, I guess, as you get older, when people want total honesty, when people want couched honesty, when people want evasive honesty. Um, it's not always important to be totally honest because most times when we're being totally honest, we have a pretty good sense of who we might hurt when that honesty comes out. So there are a few things that I've learned. Number one, honesty is always good, but maybe not at that very moment. If someone asks your opinion about something that they have labored over, let them know that you want to think about it. Because none of us know the work that other people put into a project. Not totally. And none of us know mm, the dedication that people put into something just by looking at the final product. So if someone asks your opinion about something, give yourself the opportunity and the time to think about that. Not just what you saw or what you read or what you listened to, but think about the effort that went into it. And then give it a little while. And then feel free to be honest. If someone really asks you for it, they probably want the honesty. They just may not realize that they want it then. So, resume, total honesty. Nothing about that is going to hurt you. Basic conversation, someone asking your opinion, honest, but not necessarily immediate. I would say that probably is a really good place to start. And if something is asked of you at an audition, coming back to the audition again, about your resume, please be honest about it. Be honest to a fault if you're auditioning for a show, both about conflicts, your resume, the parts you're interested in taking. All of these things are essential because whatever you answer, it's not just you getting a part or you getting a job that's at stake. It's the quality and the general well-being of the project that's at stake. And if people need to work around your particular untruth to make the show or the project a success, you are being unduly unfair and selfishly so. So that's my talk today about honesty and auditioning and resumes. It's very, very specific, and I apologize for that, but people have been asking. So, for next time, send me questions. I want your suggestions about things to talk about. Seriously, the Cohenversations that I am proudest of are the ones that are coming from you, from your questions, from your comments. So thank you for joining me. I really appreciate you tuning in. I will be back tomorrow at 3. In the meantime, wash your hands, keep your social distance, don't touch your face, take very, very good care of yourself. Um, Today, stay dry, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Love you all.